So I want to welcome everybody. Sally here with Alchemy of Healing. I'm going to pull up some slides just for you guys so that you guys can see a little bit. I have to do a disclaimer that you are joining Alchemy of Healing, where we combine nature's remedies and the healing power of our bodies. Tonight, you're going to hear I am not a doctor. I'm not going to diagnose anything. Only you can make decisions for you, and you have free will to accept or reject what I share or what is shared on tonight's talk. You get to decide. And I can't imagine that this is going to be detrimental to anybody. I think we're all excited. Why alchemy? It's because it's a power process that changes or transforms something in a mysterious or impressive way. I have a feeling we're going to have a little alchemy tonight. And why me? I've just searched for years and years to find things that worked for me. I knew there had to be a better way. And so tonight we are going to be learning a better way here. Let me get our speaker view up here. So I haven't quite gotten really snazzy with the stop share and all that kind of stuff. But tonight we have the pleasure of being here with Marcella Scherer. She has been transformational for many women, and that's her goal. She's in the business of transformation by teaching the ABCDs of image and presence. We'll learn what the ABCDs are tonight. And she's a sought-after professional speaker, executive coach, corporate trainer, and #1 Amazon best-selling author. And she's been featured on CNN, NBC News, Channel 12, ESPN, and Kiplinger's Report, as well as her local Palm Beach Post. And I was excited to also learn that Marcella has lived in Northern Virginia. She spent many wonderful years as a kid up here in my neck of the woods, and right up here in Beverly Hills in Alexandria, Virginia. So tonight, we are so fortunate I want you to just sit back and enjoy her wisdom. So welcome, Marcella Scherer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. And I'm wondering, did you stop sharing there you go. Awesome.
I'm sorry. There we go.
Yay. So I'm thrilled and excited that you all are here. And we are in this unprecedented new era that we are being forced to really show up on camera more than we've ever before. So I'd love for all of you all, if you are stepping out of your comfort zone and you are getting yourself out there on camera and going live, or you're doing meetings or networking, I'd love for you to go down to the bottom of the Zoom where the reactions are and give me a thumbs up. So if you are doing Zooms or virtual meetings or getting on camera right now, give me a thumbs up. Love to see it.
And also, I mean, who doesn't want to look good in front of their family, right?
Yes.
So if you're on those family meetings, you know, when everybody's getting together every once in a while, you still want to look right, you know? You want to like, wow, what have you been up to? So thank you, Marcella. Yeah. And thank you for saying something about the reactions. Comments or questions, put them in the chat. I'm going to be watching. Marcella loves questions, so feel free to pop them in the chat, and then I'll call on you to speak them if you'd like. And we'll keep this rolling. She's got so much to share. I don't think we can throw anything at her that she doesn't know. Thanks.
Well, I certainly have been doing this for a long time. 30 years is quite, you know, I started this when I was a kid, right? But but I am here for you all and to make the most of this. So I want to start with this because we've got 3 key things that we're going to be talking about tonight, because I want you to leave with some concrete ideas that you can actually implement right away so that you feel more confident on camera, at ease, so that you feel polished, pulled together, and you've got that panache so that you can pull it off, right? The whole idea is that when we show up as our absolute best, when we make a first and lasting impression, it will take us farther than you could ever expect. And with the way that things are these days with Zoom, and as you all can see in these little tile marks, or the Brady Bunch as I call it, across the screen, that when you're in a meeting or a networking event, this is really your time to either stand out and shine or have a little bit of question where you get lost in the shuffle. So within the first 7 seconds of meeting somebody, they have already formed 11 different opinions about you. It's sad, but it's a fact, right? And in order for us to be our best, we really have to pay attention. And I know with the pandemic, many working from home or being forced to, think of other ways to interact with people rather than face to face, we have to show up in a new way, but we've also been a little bit slack in being more relaxed. So we talk about dressing from the waist up, and I certainly will cover some ideas on how you can look good from the waist up, even if you want to be comfy on the bottom. But it is really key to your success, because what I know from doing this for 3 decades is that when you show up as your absolute best, when you shine from the inside and out, you radiate your light, you share your gifts, and people are attracted to you. So if you want to up level your game, whatever that might look like, whether it's moving up in your career or your business, or you want higher end clients, you want more money, whatever that is, your image is an important piece of the puzzle. So tonight I'm going to go over 3 key things, and they are: 1 is talking about that first impression and making a good impression, what the components are. The second thing is we're going to talk about how to look good on camera, feel good instantly. I want to give you some ideas around the lighting and just the aesthetics of it all. And then the third thing is, how do you connect on camera? Because I don't know about you all, but there is definitely a different element with being in person and feeling their energy and being there with them than looking through a little pinhole dot on the camera, right? So I'll give you some key takeaways with that. So let's just go ahead and get started. And I'm just going to ask you all, as Sally mentioned before, to go ahead and type. I love interaction. I don't want to be a talking head here. This is really, I'm here for you. So I want to, give you lots of information and content and answer your questions as best I can. And in the end, I've got a gift, so stay till the end, and I'll give you a free download that will expand some new resources for you as well. So with that, let's just talk about, you are your brand, and the way that you show up, the way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything. And so we need to be super consistent in our branding. You think about that when you think of, Starbucks, or you think about UPS. UPS is reliable, they're dependable. We count on them for our packages all the time, right? Although lately it seems like they've been all delayed. Not so much UPS, but more the post office anyway. But being dependable and consistent is part of your brand. And so we want to be consistent in the way that we show up. So being polished and pulled together is just that one extra thing that allows you to connect with people on a deeper level. There's no distraction. So how many of you all, and you could do by a show of hands with your little reactions down there, how many of you all have heard or listened to a speaker before and their background or what they were wearing was so distracting that you couldn't hear a word of what they were saying? So just give me a hands up if that's the case. You can do this or the reactions below. Yes, right? And what happens? Talk to me. What are some of the first impressions and things that happen when you experience that? Anybody want to share?
I'll start. I try figuring out what's going on behind them. I'm trying to read whatever it is. I'm trying to figure out the picture. It's too much for me. Anybody else? Nope.
As a former bookstore owner, anybody that's in front of a bookshelf, I just kind of, okay, what's that title? Okay, do I know that one? Okay.
So the bookcases are the worst for you, Nikki.
And sometimes a bookcase can be really great because it can tell a story really quickly about a person. And so if they have a couple, if they're an author and they have their book in the back, that could be a really great thing to have, you know. So you want to be strategic when you think about your personal brand, and that when we are virtual, as to what is in the picture frame. So you want to tell a story by the instant that somebody sees your picture frame, if you will. So can you all kind of get a gist with my background of what I do without even knowing? Right? And then also the other piece is that you can see the title. That's something that you guys can do right now, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. So if you take your little mouse right over the cursor of your square of your picture, and you go up to the right-hand corner, there's two little blue squares. You guys do this so that you can do it. And the three little dots, click on the three dots. And what it's going to say rename. So click on that and go ahead and type in your title or what it is that you'd like us to know about you. And then that way everybody has a chance to put their full name, and you can see it right there. So as you can see, Karen did it. She's the CEO. She's an amazing mindset coach. Karen and I have worked together. She's fabulous. And it's super clear what she does. She also has her branded picture in the background as well. So that's number one, something that you can do right away. Number two is that, you know, in making that first impression is that you want to make sure it's clutter-free, that it's super clean, and that it represents something of what you do. So for example, Nikki, as a former book owner, maybe, or bookstore owner, maybe books would be a great thing to have in your background. But I love how you've done the screen, and that's beautiful. So if you don't have a setup, and I've been coaching a lot of clients about because they're working from home and trying to convey that professional arena, if you will, we've come up with some pretty creative ways, and Nikki's done a great job with her screen. So that's one excellent way that you can change the background to make it aesthetically pleasing. I've even had clients who have taken over a kid's bedroom where they moved out, they're out of college, and we painted the whole back wall in colors that looked flattering on her. And we put some pretty aesthetics. We went shopping, if you will, in her house and found the perfect background so aesthetically. So you guys can do the same thing, is to walk around your house and really think about where would be a good position to set up for your Zoom, and a place that doesn't have a lot of distractions, because nothing is worse than, and if you guys want a good laugh, you can certainly go to YouTube and just do Zoom bloopers, and you will be entertained. Like, has anybody done that before? You will laugh.
Apps and kids and everybody.
Oh my God. People in underwear, going to the bathroom, I mean, you name it, it's there.
Oh, wow.
So making that first impression is really critical, and especially if you are in a meeting, like even now, if your phone rang, you want to put the mute button on so that we don't hear what's going on. So that aesthetically is really important. The other piece that you really want to think about the etiquette of showing up your best on Zoom is to like if you have to get up, rather than getting up while you're still on camera, turn the video off and make sure that you have one of your profile pictures up. So instead of just your name, let's see if I can do this, it has an image of yourself. So that even though you're not in that space and you've turned the camera off, you can have one of your, you know, a headshot or something put up there. So,
Marcella,
yes, yes,
I use my husband's Zoom program. I've wanted to put a picture of myself up there, but it's under his professional name and email address. That's what's the connected. So as a user, can I have an independent picture of it?
you can change it just like I had taught you how to rename it. So you can do the same and just tell him, beware that you changed it so that next time he goes on and uses it, it doesn't pop up with your picture.
Well,
Or,
we use it together. He's on his Zoom in his office and I'm on mine in the other office. And so we're using the same platform at the same time. So so on his, it has the letter B because that's his name. But if I put my picture up there and he takes his picture off, is it going to be my picture on his account?
so Nikki, here's what I would suggest. It is, you can get a free account, just get your own account. It's free. You can be on Zoom for 45 minutes if you're hosting it yourself. But if it's something that you do often, it's like $15 a month. It might be worth the investment. So just think about that. That way you don't have to worry about it and you won't have any snafus where you have his picture when it's really you. So thanks for the question. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So be thinking about that, the aesthetics, making a space that's really good for you, thinking about the background that it reflects a piece of your personality or a message of what it is. Because actually, Tori, when she got on, as you can see, esthetician skincare. Tori, I'd put your name there, put Tori esthetician skincare. The first thing that Sally noticed was the Golden Gate Bridge behind her. So it started a conversation. But if you're in a group and she didn't have a chance to do that, she's thinking, oh, well, Tori lives in San Francisco. So just note to self, it's a message, you know, because we are visual. We are more visual than actually audio and the way that we hear and the tone of our voice. Okay. All right. So I hope that gives you a couple important things on the first impressions. Now, remember that you've heard this before. You never have a second chance to make a first impression.
Yeah.
But here's what I want. That's true. But what I want to add to that is that you're always making impressions. And so when I talked about being consistent, if you're just meeting somebody for the first time and then you make a second connection and a third connection, you all know that in creating relationships or even in sales, it takes 7 to 12 times to follow up before they might actually purchase something for you. So remember, every time that you are interacting with that person, you are leaving another impression. So be consistent and show up as your best in each one of those. So as far as, did somebody want to say something?
No, I was just going to say, so it's like a cumulative effect.
It is.
I mean, that's really cool. 7 to 10 layers before you'll get some sort of commitment. That's really cool. Thank you for that.
It's true, because people are always making those unfortunate little judgments, but good judgments. It's a good, you know, an impression. So you're leaving that.
Mhm.
So we have to be consistent in the way that we're showing up. So as an image consultant, I cover the ABCDs. Sally mentioned that before. Appearance, which we're talking about some of the aesthetic things right now, behavior, communication, and your digital imprint. And when I say and I'll say that one more time, appearance is the A, behavior. So it's the way that you show up. It's how you see the communication. How are you communicating? And then D is the digital imprint. So if you think of all those aspects, that's what really gives that first and lasting impression, and also establishes your credibility, your presence, you know. So when I talk about presence, it's that when you walk in a room and you say nothing, it's how you show up. It's your energy. It's the way that people receive you before they really even have a chance to talk to you. So that's how we really want to show up, right? We want to be radiating this amazing energy so that people are just drawn to us. We are just a magnet, and that's the whole idea there. So I won't go into a lot of detail about those, but I just wanted to give you kind of a broader sense of all the different things that as an image consultant that I cover with my clients and when we do coaching. Okay, so let's get into the second point, and that is around looking better and feeling more beautiful instantly on camera. So who wants to know how to look instantly better on camera? Anybody? Yes. I don't know. So I would love to hear some feedback from all of you all. What makes you the most nervous or holds you back from getting on camera? Because you know what, you're not alone. I do a wardrobe Wednesday every Wednesday. And to be honest with you, I'll never forget when I first started. I was working with a coach and she challenged me. This had to be about 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. And I was shaking in my boots. You know, it's like getting on camera is not an easy thing. So you just have to do it, and you have to get out of your own way, and you just kind of have to suck it up and take a deep breath and get over yourself. But there are a couple things I want to build your confidence so that you can feel good about getting on the camera. So I just want to ask you all, what are some of the things that hold you back, or what's keeping you, you know, from doing those weekly, you know, camera ready activities? Anybody want to share? That way I can address some of the things. So we don't want to put you on the spot. Just know that you're not alone. Go ahead. So unmute yourself, Denny.
Yeah, Denny has a question, a good one.
Well, I have many things that hold me back about the camera. I'm not comfortable with it at all. But I hate to admit this actually, but on camera, when I see wrinkles, I am just plain not happy. And I look at everybody else's face and I think, gee, am I like 2 inches from the camera and everyone else isn't? But I'm not seeing other people's wrinkles that badly, but mine really show up. And I'm a swim instructor, and I'm not one who's going to wear a ton of makeup, and I could barely even make myself do this because I don't really want to have to look good for this camera, to tell you the truth.
You know what? Thank you so much for being candid and honest, Denny, because you know what? You're not alone. And you know, with you, like you said, your lifestyle, you know, you're a swimmer, and you know, it takes some effort for us to show up as our best. But I want to reframe it for you, Denny, and I want you to just think for a second that we have to love ourselves the way that we are. And, you know, there's all kinds of wonderful things that we can do to make our skin look better. As a matter of fact, we've got Tori on here, who's an esthetician for sure. I'm sure she can give you a couple tips on that. And makeup and colors, and there's lots of things, but you are beautiful, and you just have to think that taking the time to adorn yourself, or to put a little makeup on, do your hair, or you know, pick out something nice to wear is really about self-love. It's about self-care. And so, you know, just think of it that way, is that, you know what, I just want to show up as my best, as I am, and just take that little extra time for yourself. So we are all super critical of ourselves. Now, I will tell you one thing. Here's a little trick. I have to grab it out of my drawer here. But you can take a Post-it note. And so this was a big thing for me at first, because I hated looking at myself on the camera. So if you take a Post-it note and you put it right over like your square, just cover yourself up, and then that way you don't look at yourself the whole time.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
So
That is a good tip. That is
Take a
genius.
little Post-it note and stick it right over, and
You
then
know,
you can look at everybody else, and you don't keep looking at yourself. So,
Okay.
thanks, Danny, for sharing that.
That is a great question because my daughter shared with me something also, if I can, and it's in the technology part. You may know this already. Were you going to share this too, Marcella? Because you may know in the settings
oh yeah,
of your Zoom, right?
those filters,
There's an
Yeah.
adjustment in there, Denny.
those
Right.
filters.
Uh,
Yeah.
remove the wrinkles, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Well, it smooths out your face.
It
Yes.
does.
It does. It helps.
Where
So
is that? I want to know where that is.
It's
Where,
in the filter. Go underneath your your video and go. Yeah,
So
Yeah.
where?
it's in the
Where?
filters.
So if you go down to the bottom where it says stop video, there's a little arrow next to
Okay.
it. Okay. And
Okay.
then it gives you a little drop down, and then it says choose video filter.
Okay.
oh,
And then you're going to go into, hold on, background and filters. And, oh, let's see.
Go into video.
Yeah, you have to go into video. I had you in the wrong place. And Tori, you can help me out here. I'm doing it as
Oh,
we go.
there it is. Yeah. Touch up my appearance.
Yes,
That's exactly
yes,
it.
yes.
See?
Oh, that's a,
oh, touch up my appearance. Oh my gosh.
yeah, that's hysterical.
Oh, that is. Hey, do they have that on a phone too? On the
Yes,
I want it on my phone.
yes. Oh, I have a daughter in her 20s. She's an expert. It's
I gotta find out about that. Yeah, I
I'm
gotta.
like, if your lips get any bigger.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Everybody needs to do that for sure, right? So
Yes.
that's definitely an instant one. And the other thing I'll tell you about the camera is that you really have to wear a little more makeup. And Denny, I know you said you don't really wear a lot of makeup. You know what? I have a lot more makeup on now than I do in person. And what I know for sure, after being in the cosmetics industry for 28 of my 30 plus years of doing this, is that the best thing you can do is have a makeup bag right by your Zoom or at your desk. Put your makeup on as you normally would. And I would suggest more of a high definition foundation. And using, like, this is a high definition powder. It's actually white, but it doesn't go on white. And what it does is it reflects the light. So it makes your skin look really smooth. And the other thing is that you need to wear more blush and a little more color on the camera. You just experiment with it. Get your makeup bag, sit down, put the, improve your appearance, get your lighting, which we'll talk about in just a minute, right? And then put the camera on. You can go on, even if you don't have an account, like I said, you can get a free account, just sign up for a free account. And it just says start a video, with the camera on, and then practice your makeup on the camera, because you'll see that there's certain things that don't really show up as well than if you were in your bathroom doing your makeup. So I always get my makeup on. I get on, as a matter of fact, Sally, before, I got on a few minutes early to make sure everything was in place. And then I need a little more blush because I look, Tori, and I was telling you about that. You just need, or a bronzer, just to give you a little bit more color. And you might have to go a little brighter on the lipstick. So don't be afraid to, experiment, but do that. And then the other piece of it is, besides, wearing a little bit more makeup, is to check your hair, because sometimes it can look kind of fuzzy, like the frizzy. So I always have like a hair serum or whatever. I've got some awesome products that I use, and I'll just smooth it out. And then that way I don't have the extra fuzz as much. So I have that kind of like camera ready kit, like right next to my workstation, so that, because you know how sometimes people will go, oh, hey, you want to FaceTime? And you're like, oh my God, I'm in my pajamas. Hopefully you're not, but you just want to always be ready, because you never know when a client might call you, or your boss, or the other pieces is that I always tell my clients, because I coach a lot of executive and professional people, is that when you're on a WebEx or a Zoom meeting nowadays, you might have your boss or your boss's boss show up to a meeting that normally they would never attend if you were in the office or in person. So really, that's your opportunity to stand out and to shine, to get noticed. And that's really what you want to do. They want to go, who is that? Who is that person? And boy, they gave a great presentation, or I really know, that you stood out, because if everybody else is in hoodies or whatever, you looking pulled together, polished, you're going to stand out. So that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, and Tori has a question about that. She says, glasses on or off, what's best?
Okay. So sometimes, Tori, and depending on the lighting, yes, and Denny, you've got the glasses on. With the lighting, it reflects. So my suggestion is, if you have contacts, I would suggest wearing contacts on Zoom. If you don't and you need your glasses all the time, there are, I have, as a matter of fact, I can send you all that. If you'll just email me, I'm gonna send the information. I'll show you that, how to contact me in a bit. But I found 4 different resources for glasses that have non-glare, and some that have like a film that you can put over it that will help with the reflection. So that's the best thing. So to answer your question, there are specific glasses that are glare free. There are options that you can put a film over it. You can use, wear contacts if that's an option, or if you don't have to have your glasses on all the time, only put them on if you have to read or do something, to do that. But it is kind of distracting when you're, and I'm going to talk about that, how to connect. But if you are wearing glasses, it's a little bit harder for people to connect with you, because they can't see your eyes if your glasses are reflective. So keep that in mind,
Yeah. And Denny had a question, if you don't mind if I ask that now too. How often is it okay to put your picture up? Oh, and Denny, your picture was down in that same little area we were in. Where was the picture? She asked where the picture was. Is it near the video? Where did we change those things? Whoopsie.
Yes, it's under, you'll find it under settings. And also, here's another thing for you all. You can go on Zoom, and there are fabulous little short nugget videos on any question that you might have around the technology of Zoom. If you're not sure where to find something, or if you forget some of the things that we've been talking about, just go in there and put it in the search bar. How do I change my, picture or name, or improve my appearance, all those little things. So
yeah, thank you. And if you're a guest, you're not presenting, and if you can't sit still for very long, how rude is it to be coming on? Is it better to be going on and off, or is it better just to keep your picture off, your video off the whole time? What do you think on timing and that?
Well, okay, so hold that thought, because I'm going to talk about that in the next segment. Okay. Let me finish talking about the aesthetic piece of it, and I'm going to come back to that. And if I forget, let me know, but I definitely, let me write that down. So, okay. So, all right. So now let's talk a little bit more about colors. I know you wanted to know about lighting. So the piece around the lighting is probably one of the most important. And I know a lot of people have questions about this. So when I've been working with my clients to get them camera ready, I've had them literally take me around with their laptop or their, FaceTime or whatever, and we pick a place in their home or office that has the best natural light. And so what I'm going to suggest to you, because you have to think about what's in my background and what's in my front. And ideally, if you could have a window right in front of you with the natural light where it comes right up, that would be ideal. But even so, that might not always work because it's dark outside, and sometimes, you know, it's not, you know, ideal. So the other piece of it is really investing in a ring light. I happen to have one. It's I have a stand-up desk, and I have my laptop that is literally on a box so that my camera is right at eye level. Do you see how I have that? I think it's really important that, you know, you have to have good lighting, but when we talk about connecting with people, which I'll come back to, you know, you really need to have that eye level with the camera. And then you want to have the light directly, you know, in front of you. So what you can experiment with, if you don't have a ring light right now, is just take some lamps from your house, take the shade off and stick it in front of you. And try that. It might be too fluorescent. You could play with a softer light bulb if you want to kind of change out some of the light bulbs until you know, think that it warrants getting a ring light. You can get them very inexpensive. The one that I have, I really love because I can make it brighter or lighter, so I can control the brightness, but I also can control the cool or warmth of it. And Tori, you were talking about like looking really washed out. If you add a little warmth to the light, it can warm up your face. You can use bronzer, you can use a deeper shade of you know, blush, and that all helps too. So those are all factors that you can think about with showing up your best on camera. So yeah, so those are, I think, the key things I wanted you to know about the lighting. Yes, Nikki.
I have a ring light right in front of me right now, and I'm about as dark as can be.
You are. It needs to be closer to you if that's possible. Can you get it closer to you? Everybody else, it looks like it's pretty much the lights right in front of you.
I actually have the light to the side of me.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, it's a little bit on this side than the other side. So you just want to play with that. The other thing is a lot of times on your computer, it has a setting where you can make the screen brighter or more dim, and that can help you as well. So that's another technology thing for sure.
So let me ask this question. You've got your ring light in front of you. Does it blind your eyes so that you have a hard time seeing? Because that's what's happening right now, is that it's almost 3 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's casting a little bit of shadows on your face. I would try to put it a little bit more in front of your face if possible. My light, let me see if I can turn this around so you guys can see. My light see it's standing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's on an easel stand, so it's up above, you know.
okay, and it appears to be quite a distance.
Yeah, and I also have some hi-hats up here. I don't know if you can see. I have hi-hats on the ceiling. You guys can see I have a little bit of, you know, hi-hats like that. But, you know, if you don't have hi-hats or whatever, you're just gonna have to make the best of what you've got. So try using the lamps, invest in a ring light, and I'm happy to share with you the one that I really like, but play around with the light, and that will make a big difference. Again, just like when you're doing your makeup, right? Get in front and just practice and try it out. Sort of like going into a studio before you go on TV, you know, they're gonna set the whole thing up. Okay, so here's another tip that you can do to instantly look awesome. You wanna know? Knowing what your best colors are, in other words, what your best wardrobe, hair, and makeup colors are a real game changer. And when you understand what flatters you, then your skin will glow. You will look 10 years younger. Your eyes will light up. Your teeth will look whiter. Your eyes will look brighter, and it would make your hair look richer. So understanding what your best colors are is a game changer. Now, if you've never been color analyzed before, well, let me ask, is there anybody here that has been color analyzed and knows what their best wardrobe, hair, and makeup colors are? Is there anybody? Nikki, yay. Awesome. Okay, so you're the minority. So for everybody else, here's something that you can do. And of course, this is something that I offer. I can do it virtually with you, just to take the guesswork out. I could talk for hours about color analysis. It's my favorite thing because it serves as a filter, not only to make you look younger and healthier, but if you think about it, when you go shopping, if any of you all like to maybe go to wherever it is, TJ Maxx or maybe Neiman Marcus, regardless of whatever you purchase, if everything is streamlined and looks good on you, it helps you to make decisions. It helps you to save money. It'll help you to coordinate a wardrobe that all integrates and goes together. It'll help you get dressed in 3 minutes in the morning. I mean, there's so many wonderful things to help you. It'll help you make decisions about what color makeup or hair color. You know, there's so many things, but here's what you can do if you're not sure. So when you have no makeup on and your hair pinned back, especially if you color it, go in your closet and find something that is yellow or warm or golden, like colored, or beige, and then pull something that is maybe pink or blue, like a bright blue, and just hold those up against you. You could do beige and white, you know, hold those up and see which one. Like if you're just doing the simple beige and white, you can look at your teeth and the whites of your eyes. Does it make you look brighter? Does your skin glow, or does it just suck all the color and give you dark circles under your eyes? So just play with it. I have a feeling that you probably know at least one color that looks really amazing on you, that you get lots of compliments on. And so that's a good one to stick with. Usually it could be the color of your eyes. That's a really easy way to pick a color that matches your eyes, or maybe your natural hair color. So start with that. Find a color that looks good and makes you feel good from the inside out. And that way you're really glowing. Now, I will add one more thing about the colors is think about what your background is, because if you're wearing something that's really, for example, if you have a dark background and you wear black or a dark color, you're going to be absorbed into that background. So you really want to be thinking about how can you stand forward. Like I have a pretty neutral background in the sense that there's not a lot of color in there. So by wearing color, I really stand in the forefront of the camera. And then also it could work against you, because if you have something really bright on and then you've got the bright background, it could be also distracting. So just pay attention. And if you need a little bit more direction and help on that, we can certainly have a consultation and talk about it. So, okay, so that's the second segment. We were talking about looking better on camera. You guys got the improve your appearance. We talked a little bit about the lighting. We talked about colors. We talked about being camera ready with your makeup and all the wonderful little tips around that. And oh, by the way, I'm just going to put this plug, if that's okay with you guys, but I'm in the process right now of developing my own cosmetic line because the company I was with for 28 years went out of business. And it's all color coded. And so I've just found over the years that I'm really good with colors and I understand that. So talk to me, it's still in progress, but I'm looking for some guinea pigs and people that like that in the process. So I just had to put that out there. Okay, because you guys can probably help me. Okay, number 3, the connecting virtually is a totally different game. I gave you the little tip around the Post-it note over your.
That was a good one. That was a good tip, the Post-it note.
So here's the thing is that I'm just gonna, okay, so for example, right now, Sally, I'm looking at you, but does it really look like I'm looking at you?
No.
Yes.
looking at your picture, right? And so right now I have the gallery view, all right? That means I have I can see everybody right now. So when you go up to the right-hand corner, it has speaker view, right? So if there's a speaker or somebody, you know, if you're just one-on-one with somebody, you can put it in speaker view. Now, I can see Sally much better. And so now, Sally, I'm looking at your face. Is that a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now, but truly, I'm looking at you, but here's the thing. If I look here, do you feel like I'm looking at you?
Yes. You're looking, where are you looking now? Because I've always been curious about that.
So I want you to find the camera on your computer. Mine happens to sit right smack in the middle. It's a teeny little dot. Yeah, there you go. That's it. So now what I want you to do, like Sally, your camera is a little bit higher than eye level. So is there a way that you can adjust it? Or maybe you can sit on something taller. Can you raise, do you have a bar stool? Is there, you can just standing, try standing. Oh, that's too tall.
Yeah, I have it on a box. I have my computer on a box because I had been told to have your camera looking down on you a little.
Yes, yes, I've heard that as well.
No, au contraire, huh? Okay, do tell.
Yeah, so you want to put it so that literally that pin dot, if I had a ruler, like here's my eye right here, and that pin dot is like right there. So that's really where you want to position your laptop, your camera, whatever it is. And maybe it's a shoebox. I mean, if you saw, I have a stack of multi-purpose paper and a box underneath this. I'll show you laugh. See? There you go.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, you know, that's what you got to do. You figure it out, right? So put it so that the pin dot is right there. Put it so that you have speaker view so you can see the person. Now, here's the other trick that you can do is that when you have a lot of people, like we have a gallery here of all of you all, there's different options. You've got the lot like 9 little dots, the 2 dots and 1, and then minimizing. That will give you different options on the view. You can drag the frame, take your little cursor and drag it over and stick it right underneath the camera, okay? You guys try that. Take your little mouse and you're gonna hold it onto whatever, you know, you've got the gallery, right, with the 9 little dots. So you see everybody, drag it and put it right underneath that little pin dot. Oh, Dina, you're muted, so I can't hear you.
Put what, where?
Okay, you're gonna, the gallery view of everybody.
Yep. Got it.
And drag that over. Like you can take one of the little squares or whatever and drag it and put it right underneath your little pin dot camera. But I have you all right now, and my image is just right underneath that. So in other words, Dina, when I'm looking at the pin dot, but right now I'm looking at you. Do you see it's not too far off the where my eyes are? From the pin dot to you. So that's another trick that you can do. And a lot of times you're just going to have to surrender the fact that you are going to look at the person. If it's really important meeting and you are trying to connect with somebody, you're just going to have to look in that pin dot and forget about what's on the screen. You can use that little post-it note tip to cover it up if you want. But I really work like right now, I am just looking at the pin dot. I can't even see anything else that's going on. But do you feel like I'm connecting with you on a deeper level when I'm looking at you this way than when I'm just looking at like this or this? right?
Right.
Makes a big difference. So for those of you that might have two computers, I've had this happen where people have multiple, wait, hold on one second. I got to change my view here. Okay. Where I have multiple, people in the room or whatever, and they're on their laptop and they're like looking like this. And they're talking to me, but they're looking over here. They're typing or working on the thing. And it's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, hello, I'm over here. But if you've ever met somebody in person, and this is what I've taught my clients for years, is that when you go to a networking event, when you reach out to shake their hand, what do? You look in one eye. You make that eye contact as you shake their hand, and you really make that deeper connection with them. So we just have to work at it a little bit harder here on the camera, because it's not really normal not to look in their eyes. We're looking at a little pin dot on the computer. Does that make sense? So if it's really important, do that. If it's a family thing, whatever, you guys are having a good time and it's all good. So, so with that, I wanted to add one more thing besides the, looking the eye contact and really connecting. The other piece is to be 100% present. And I go through a ritual, and I teach my executives this, is that before you get on a Zoom meeting of any sort, sit down in your chair, get grounded, take a deep breath, get centered and feet on the ground, solid. Think about your intention of what the meeting is, maybe what you visualize and what you'd like to see come out of it. And just really put yourself in that place, because when you do that, not only are you showing up best for yourself, but you are also being 100% present for that person that you're about to meet with. And they're going to feel your energy when you show up that way. And so that's the extra thing that we have to think about. Like, I know I have seen crazy meetings. Like, I can't even tell you some of the Zoom bloopers I can tell you about, where people, it's just so, it's rude.
Yeah.
That they're eating or they're drinking or they're having a conversation with somebody else, or the phone rings and they're sitting there talking, and we're in the middle of this meeting, and it's just really, you would never do that in person. So conduct yourself as if you were in a boardroom or meeting one-on-one with that person, so that you can be 100% present. Think about really showing up for that person and, playing all out. And when you do that, trust me, you all are going to be standing out above the rest, because not everybody has mastered this art. And, it does take some practice and a little bit of work, but with that, you should be able to conquer it and really be able to connect with people on a much deeper level. So I think that's, so I gave you the third thing was about that eye contact and really being an active listener, showing up and being 100% present, really working on the contact with the camera, and showing up as your best. So just pretend that you are in there in person. And so the way that you dress and your appearance, thinking about as if you were going to an in-person live. Okay, if you want to wear more casual pants on the bottom or your comfy slippers or whatever, that's really up to you. But I do want to add that there is a science. It's called cognitive competence. Oh my gosh, I had a brain fart there. And there's a study that shows that when we actually dress, the act of it, we're more effective, we're more efficient, we're more productive, we close more sales. So do not take your appearance lightly and think it's fluff. No, that is the extra tool in your toolbox that will sharpen and give you that extra edge to really come across polished, professional, and with panache. So with that, I'm just going to close, and I'm going to open it up for some questions. Hold on one second. I'm going to share my screen so that you all have my contact information. And
Now, I'm going to suggest everybody get your camera, your phone, so you can take a picture of it. So you've got Marcella's contact info easily.
very good. And I have 10 tips to elevate your virtual presence on my website. So you guys can go there and just download it for free. Just marcellascherer.com. Make sure you get the spelling right so you can do that. And every Wednesday I do a Wardrobe Wednesday in the evening. I haven't nailed an exact time because sometimes it fluctuates depending on my work schedule. But you can sign up for notifications when I go live, and I always cover tips around virtual presence, about wardrobing, about just being your best self, self-care, whatever, all those things that go under that ABCD umbrella. And then I'm also on LinkedIn as well. So if any of you all want to connect that way, I'd love to have a conversation. And if there's anything that you all would like, so I also do virtual consultations. I do wardrobing, personal shopping. I do executive coaching. So I really like to look at the whole person inside and out. I'm really about you showing up authentically, true to who you are, in a style that really resonates and speaks, because I know for sure that, the way that we show up is another expression of who we are. So I really take pride in working with my clients to do that. So anyway, all right, let's go ahead and open it. I'd love to have any questions or comments, feedback, anything.
Anybody have any big takeaways they want to share with everybody? That would be awesome.
Did everybody get this? And I'll take it down. Is it okay? Okay, good. All right. Yeah, so I'd love to hear what were your takeaways?
I'll go first again, since you got to jump in, guys, right? I loved the picture idea. Pretend like you're in a picture frame. And that just gave me a whole new perspective, and that actually showing me what it looks like to look in my eyes. That was just crazy. So thank you for that. Sure, everybody, everybody probably came away with so many great things, because my goodness, you mentioned
Oh,
turning on, the video, turning it on and off. That was the question. What's a better, is it like ADHD to turn it on and off, or keep it off more often? Longer.
Well, let's go back to being 100% present. There's gonna be situations where maybe your dog comes in as or a kid, or whatever, somebody's at your front door, those are issues that you just really need to mute and to, turn the camera. Other than that, I would try not to keep going back and forth, because you're going to stand out more, with that. So I would be really strategic. Like, before I get on camera, I make sure that I have a full glass of water, and I have it in a pretty glass, because remember, this is also a reflection of you, right? If you have some clunker or whatever. Anyway. So, make sure you have your notepad and your pen, make sure you went to the bathroom before you got on there. So try to limit, going off and on, because that too can be a distraction. But if you need to do it, just do it. It's better than interrupting a meeting, because then again, it's a distraction, and it doesn't say a lot of good things about you if that's the case.
And what a great idea to turn off the video before you get up. Just turn yourself off.
Yeah, if you got sweatpants on, it's going to be showing your, so be careful.
Or we've seen underwear. So
No pants.
Not tonight, but yeah.
Okay, so let's go one direction more, and that is, if you have allergies and need to take care of your nose, better to turn the camera off, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And mute,
Thank you.
for sure.
Unmute.
Yeah.
And mute, yes.
Yeah.
And I started, what's happening here is there's 3 lamps on the dining table behind me, which is giving light behind me, which is not normally there, because I've been on many a meeting with Pat and Sally, and what you're looking at now is so different. But okay, I think I resolved it. We've got a family puzzle going, so we're okay with that.
Tonight is an exception.
Yeah, I loved all the lighting tips. And also, you can, down where you were saying, oh, where was it? Where you adjust the filter, you can also adjust the light right there on the camera. And it did brighten it up. I never knew that. Yeah. And the ring light, I would like to find out which ring light you got too.
Okay, cool. I'll send that to you. And here's another thing too, is that sometimes you just need to take a tissue and rub it over the camera, because sometimes it gets a dusty film. Try that on yours, Karen, because it looks a
It
little
does, but
fuzzy.
you know what I was told, because I've done that before. When I don't know, I got a new Mac Air, and for some reason the technology, they didn't change the camera on it, and the technology is higher, or I don't know, understand it. And they said it's not reading as well. On my old Mac, I came in clearer. I'm going to get something right now. Don't look at my jeans.
The truth comes out.
Yes, yes.
Now, while Karen has stepped away, since we have a little bit of, I don't think I shared. I want to invite you guys, just in case whoever has to go away. I appreciate you, Marcella, staying as long as you're able, because I know you'll have a lot of good information, but there may be some people who do need to step away because it's top of the hour. I did want to add my little 2 cents to this as well, my little plug for myself. So I just wanted to ask a couple questions before you go. Do you like to expand? I'm going to look at the camera. Do you like to expand your information about holistic options? Do you like to be in a fun, supportive learning environment? Do you like learning in your own home? Then I'd like you to really check out yourblissfuljourney.com/membership, where you'll be up to date on all the guest speakers and other presentations that we have. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. I will stop this share so that Marcella can take it back. Is there any other questions?
Really? Yeah, we'll maybe take one more question if there's somebody else that wants to. We haven't heard from you, or who else is on here that we haven't heard from? Diane, we haven't heard from you all. Is there anything? Hi. You all like to ask, or a takeaway you want to share?
I think Denny you had your hand up, Denny.
I do have one question. I have something right behind me that I would like to show you and ask you what you think about me finding a way to use it as a background. So one sec, I'm going to show you. It's right here. Okay. First of all, if I show it, does this look backwards? Is this now backwards, or is it?
No, it reads right.
That's good.
Is there a way that, first of all, my point is that that's what I want people to get out of swimming. But do you think there's a way that I could, first of all, do you think it's a good idea, and how I would technically make it my background? First of all, should I go in that direction or not?
Well, you know what, Denny, if you want to do a consult, we could dive deeper, but I'm going to give you a quick answer, okay? Hopefully this will kind of give you some direction. Canva, C-A-N-V-A, canva.com is a free thing that you can go on, and you can literally design a green screen and upload it, and you can put it behind you. So for those of y'all that might not have a good, aesthetic, or you don't want to, go that route, you just want to put up something. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah. So this is my background, but here's one other thing. Let's see. You
Oh,
see that?
yes.
It's this, I took a picture of it in case, because I travel and I wanted to have my my background. Now you can see when I move, it's not 100% like perfect, right? But if you wanted to create an image like that, Nikki, that had your swim thing, you could certainly do that, upload it on here and put it.
You said it's called Canva?
So
Canva.com.
Marcella,
CANVA.
Yeah.
then are you using the Zoom background, or have you hung a green screen behind you?
I don't have a green screen.
Okay, right now, you don't have a green screen right now. Why is your background and hairstyle so firm and it's not fading away and wavy?
Oh, right now?
Yes.
Okay, so right now, like this is literally my office and this is my wall.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
This is my office. The one that I just put up, I took a picture
Got it.
of my wall.
Yeah. Got it.
I uploaded it, and that's why it has that little, because
Okay.
I the back.
Got it.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So if you want to be consistent, right, with your branding, that's why I chose to do that. Because sometimes I travel and I don't know what the background's going to be like. So it's my backup.
That's yeah, I love that question. That was actually one of the things I've been wondering about right now. I kind of had to just jump in from one meeting into another, so I'm in my office, so it's not my best background. But in using the green screen there, you can get the ghosting, and I'm not sure if that's what you were referring to, Nikki. It's so distracting. But yours was great. Like that didn't happen. Your dark hair stayed dark, and do you have some tips for that?
With a green screen,
Mm-hmm.
there's not a lot. I mean, having an actual green screen certainly helps for sure.
Okay.
But as far as that movement, right now, that's just the Zoom technology and how it is. So I don't know of any. Maybe there is something out there, but for what I know, I have not discovered that yet. So
Thanks.
Well, this would be a beware. I bought a round green screen that's attached to the back of the chair, and it's not big enough for one, not tall enough, not wide enough, and the back of the screen allows the green screen to tilt backwards. So basically, it was a failure. So I just gave it away to charity right now, but letting you know that beware on that style.
Thank you.
yeah, I think having like your situation Nikki, is probably like a next best. As I said, when I do my camera ready consult, we go through a couple different options just to make sure that you've got, something that you feel like really looks good. And sometimes it's a little bit of trial and error. Like you said, Nikki, we have to try something and see if it works.
Well, I have a wonderful spot in my house, and I've been able to open the blinds on both sides, so it gives the look. I take this, put it behind me, but the Zoom won't work in that room. What can I say?
We want to thank Marcella.
Like I said, it's not her. Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you. No, thank you. I know I do want to honor your time as well. So we do need to wrap up, but I don't want to cut Karen off because she went to get something and I'm not sure. Are you back, Karen?
Oh, I'm here.
yeah.
Can't you?
Oh, there you are. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Oh no, I've been here the whole time. I have your information too. I've seen everything.
Oh, okay. I thought you stepped away to pick something up to share something you had a question about. I misunderstood.
Oh no, I can't even remember why I got up.
About your camera? You were talking about your camera, your Mac?
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking about my camera. you know
Remember you
what?
said don't look at your jeans when you walked
I
away.
know, I said, "Don't look at my jeans," and I know.
Well, Karen, we can talk about
I don't even know what I would, you know what? It seems like so long ago. I've been so entrenched in what you've been talking about, I totally forgot. So couldn't have been that important. I don't know.
Well, Marcella has been extremely generous with her time
Yes,
and information tonight, so we really, really do thank you. Anybody who does have other questions for her, please reach out to Marcella. And your replay is going to be coming out, so I know you're going to want to listen to that again and pick up any tidbits that we may have missed, you know, just from the conversations and all, because there's always a wealth of information here. Is there anything else, Marcella, you wanted to say before we sign off for the night?
I just encourage all of you, first of all, be kind to yourself. You know, it's not an easy process getting on camera, and, you know, don't be so critical. You are amazing. You know, my 7-step system of upscale, U stands for understand the magnitude of the platform and know that whatever your message is really important. And when we think about ourselves, it's really selfish because of our own concerns. We have to be thinking about the people and just focus on your message and what you are sharing, because they need to hear your message. So just get out of your own way, go do your thing, and, you know, take these principles that I shared with you and just know if you'll practice them, you will be awesome. So
thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
thanks for joining me.
all.
It was good meeting you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, big
Love
hand.
it. Thank you.
Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye, y'all.
Take care.
Thanks for putting this together, Sally.
Hey, my pleasure, Diane.
Yes, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to
Good
see
night,
you.
all.
Good night.